Hi there, welcome to this course on data visualization with After Effects. My name is Harshit and I am your course instructor, and here in this course you will be learning about pie chart using a smart object from Excel to After Effects. You will be learning how to create visualization with bar charts and line chart with a cool background like rotating earth, track maps, simple transformations, and you will learn storytelling using infographics and text animations. These techniques will add more meaning to your data and you will present your idea comfortably. Start learning right now. See you in the class. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this practical exercise, you will be learning about pie chart animation with After Effects. So let us draw a ring first. It will be a circle. Ring is a circle which don't have any fill and it has a thick stroke. So have the proper configuration here. Make the fill null and stroke with a proper width and choose any color. We have taken this white color. So now next step is to rename this ring because the shape layer 1 would be very big. Let's make it white ring. So in that case, we could refer it very easily. Now we want to add one more ring that will show our data, that is animated data. So let's choose any color, say change this to green. So we have this green progress on the white background. Just rename this ring to green ring for proper referencing because we will be using expressions that will require referencing. So now just add a trim path. Just go to add trim path. This is trim path. It will allow us to animate this ring. So just go to end, make it 0 initially. We have gone to half a second, keyframe it, and after 1 second or so, just add one more keyframe and make it 100%. So in this case, it will start from 0 and become 100%. So let's make it visible. We have invisible. Okay, so it is working. So our progress bar is moving very fast. So let's delay it half a second. So it is nice. So this is our prime animation. So this will be the background ring. When it is done, at that point of time, we want our second ring to start. Just press bracket, open bracket, where you want your timer to start. Similarly, add a trim path to this ring as well. Perform the same operation. Make it 0 initially, the end timer, and after 1.5 seconds, just make it 100%. So in this case, this ring will overlap the previous one. Okay, but here we want our progress bar to start at any in between value. We don't want it to be uh, exactly 100%. We want it to show some fraction, say 80%. So we can just go to the end keyframe here for the second ring and make it 80%. You can make any percentage, 30, 40, 50, any discrete value, anything you want, 39, 21, anything. So this progress bar will stop at this point. So now let us add a number which will reflect the current value of the progress bar, the green color pi. So let's make it a little lighter shade of green so it will match. You can choose any color, place it in the center, move the anchor point to the center of this digit, and then now let's animate it. We need to add an expression to the digit number text. So just expand it and move to the stopwatch icon in the text. Here we have the source text. Just alt and left click this stopwatch and this will open the expression tab. And here we want to write some expression in order to perform computation. So here we want our progress bar to reflect. Just write math.round. This will be a function, and this dot comp dot layer, and provide the name of the ring. So here we have the green ring. Just provide the name green ring, and after add the dot content, and in the braces add the trim path 1. So trim path will be the function that will be taken care of here, and dot end. So this will the end parameter of trim path will be taken into consideration. So the number value of the number will reflect to the circle. You can check it back. Here the trim paths 1 is written. You can rename it. It's not a problem. So just check it out. So here the number is reflecting the ring value. You can press the space bar to preview your animation, and when it is running properly you can proceed with the next step. So our animation is running as expected, and now we can add one more text. So just before the percentage counter we can write the percentage text. So just write percent and make it a small size to fit in the ring, and it will be a beautiful effect. Similarly, we can add the same progress bar and expression to other charts, line chart, bar chart, and different infographic content in the similar manner. We are going to learn more in the coming exercises. Till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back, friend. In the previous exercise, you have learned about pie chart animation like this. And here in this practical exercise, we will be taking it to the next level. We can add images. Say here we have two images, one of desert and one of grassland. Just import them one by one. So here first import the desert one because we want a desert to be background. So just resize it by simple mouse scroll, or you can zoom in, zoom out. Just open this track matte option from lower side of left side, and just select this track matte option, alpha matte to the white ring. So here we want to add an image to the outer ring. So this is the desert, and just do the same thing for the percentage counter. Place a next image, replace it because we want a green grass to appear on the background. So here this is called masking actually, and we are applying it using the track matte. So have a look. It looks very clean and nice. So this percentage could be shown the percentage of grassland and desert land in the world. So similarly, you can present your idea when you can't just use a simple color. You can add images to your data. You can thicken this stroke to have a more contrast to the image, and here you can choose to increase the width of either of the circle, or you can increase the width of both the rings. So here it looks very cool. Try to add your own images to tell a story, because data visualization is not just about data, it's about how you present your data. Keep learning, keep moving ahead. We are going to learn more in the coming exercises. Hi, welcome back. In the previous exercise, we have added mask to our pie chart animation. And here in this practical exercise, we are going to perform some key transformations like rotation and opacity. So let's start. So first select all the layers and right click pre-compose because we want them to be better managed. When you have the pre-composition, you can apply any transformations together on a single layer that will reflect on all the layers. It will be easy to handle all the layers. Pre-composition also helps in big projects when you have a lot of content and your timeline is very limited. So let's keyframe the scale. So just put a timeline. Initially make it 0, and after some time, say 1.5 seconds, and it will appear like it is growing from 0% to 100%. So here we are interested to show two different percentages. The background sand layer growing to 100%, and next the counter of the grassland to 80%. So let us just reduce the size after some time. Say here after a second, when it is 100%, make it 80%. So your data would be conveyed through two mediums, three mediums actually. The pie chart, the percentage counter, and the growing pie chart. So here we have keyframe the scale with respect to time. You can replay them again and again to check. Then apply rotation. Make it 3D, because when it is 3D, you have got better control in X, Y, and Z direction. Let's check with Y direction. So just put any point. Say initially at half a second, put a keyframe to Y and Z rotation, Z rotation. And when it is 100% scaled, then you can apply some transformation. Say rotate it towards the right hand side a little bit, so it will look like it is tinting as well as growing. Similarly, you can rotate it on its axis as well. So let's check it out. So it looks good. You can add more effects. Just try to add one more keyframe at 80% and try to rotate it in the reverse direction. But be careful, because sometimes when we try to apply to contrasting effect very quickly, it won't look very cool. So here it is rotating very fast. We are interested to change its speed. It won't be rotating that much faster. So here just keyframe it, and the rotation would be a little bit change, not very significant. Just keyframe and change it a little bit, not very much. Just move it like it is getting into center, front facing view, and it will be a little bit tinted. So here just have a look, replay it again. So it looks cool. When you have a background, it will be a good storytelling medium. So you got data, you got to represent it using mask and images, and you can apply key transformations. Just imagine what you can build based on these three features. Try building your own solution. You will be learning more in the coming exercises. Till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back, friend. Here in this practical exercise, you're going to learn about Excel Smart Art and how you can use the predefined built-in smart objects from Excel to After Effects. So in this is first part, and here we are just creating a smart art. Let's create a pyramid. Here we have a pyramid with three levels: the top level, the average, and the mid lower level. So here these are the three different levels. We can add text, we can add the colors. You can take any of the smart object, be the flowchart, process, hierarchy, anything. And we will be importing it to Excel. So let's change the color right from the Excel for the text and make it small or big, whatever you feel like. So let's make them big. A lighter shade of each and every color, say orange, yellow, and gray. We are taking the lighter shade and we are scaling this up. And then the next step is to select the entire smart object. You can select the entire smart object, resize it properly, and just copy it. Just do Control C and paste it on Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. And here we can separate the layers of each object that we want to animate. So here we can animate these three things. You can't directly just import a Excel chart in After Effects. You have to use these steps. So here, as you can see, when you go to the layer option, you got a lot of different layers that are and groups that are there. So you have to categorize them. Just put three different layers and we are rearranging them. You don't need to be very perfect in Illustrator. This is a simple thing. Using this method, you can do a lot of visualization with very ease. So here we have three different layers and this text was missing. You can search it and put it right at right place. And when you are done, you have to save this Illustrator file and we will be importing it in After Effects in three different components. In the similar manner, you can also import other smart object from Excel to Illustrator and you have to rearrange its component into multiple layers. The layers you would be interested to perform various operations or transformations using After Effects. In the next part, we are going to learn about how you can import these separate layers of Illustrator file into the After Effects and perform operation. So stay tuned. Keep learning, keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this practical exercise, we are going to just import the Illustrator Smart Object from Excel. So just select the Illustrator file you want to import. Be careful about the settings. If it is not correctly done, you won't get the layers you want. So here, just select the Illustrator file and below if a default setting has been selected, it won't work. You have to select the composition retain layer size. Now just put it on the top of the layer and it works as a pre-composition. So you have to double click and you have different layers. Just move the anchor point to the lower center because we want to apply scaling effect in all three layers. So here the three layers are retained perfectly well. So just put them according to their sequence. We want the lower part to appear first at around half a second. Use the selection tool. Put the timeline of each layers over an interval of 1 second. You can choose any of your time. 1 second would be perfect for me. Here just go to scale, uncheck this chain option and click the stopwatch and make it 0 initially, the y-axis. And after a second, just make the y-axis to 100%. So here you got an effect, a clean effect of this pyramid rolling up from the ground to the top. Similarly, just copy the same effect, same keyframes and paste it on the higher layers. You would get the same thing. You can apply easing. If it looks good, you can go for it. If it don't looks good, you can have the general expression. So here just apply the same effects on the second layer and the top layer. So here we got a clean animation of flowchart. It doesn't take a lot of time to animate. You can use already pre-existing smart art from Excel and directly import it on After Effects and create an amazing animation. Keep learning, keep moving ahead. Hi there, in this practical exercise, we're going to learn about bar chart animation in After Effects. So let's start. Here we have a background color. And if you want to create a new, just right click, new, solid, and just change the color. Here we will take a lighter shade of blue to be our background. Press OK. Here we have a new background. Just delete the previous one. We don't need it anymore. Then we need to draw the axis. Use the pen tool and draw a straight line. Try to draw a straight line. If you don't draw, just feel free to press Ctrl Z so it will roll back to the previous version. So here we have the X and Y coordinates. Make the fill empty or transparent and make the stroke available. Fix the stroke color and size of your choice. Make it a bit thinner so it will be a perfect axis. So here we have our axis of width 12, stroke size 12, and now we can draw our bar charts. So for bar, we will be using a square or rectangle shapes. So here this is our shape layer. If you want, you can rename. Otherwise, just continue with drawing a bar chart. Just draw a square here. You can zoom in or zoom out at your convenience. Here we don't want any stroke to be there. We just want a fill color. To be a darker shade of blue, it will be okay. Or you can change the color according to your choice. You have your own color choice here. You can decide your color or design. You can add some image to the background, whatever be your choice. So here we have a light darker shade of blue. And now use the selection tool and just replicate this square shape multiple times because we want a bar chart with similar width over a proper interval. Let's rename it bar 1 and just control C and control V. The copy and paste it here. And just here we just can use the position and relocate it in the X coordinate. We don't want to change the Y coordinate, just the X coordinate. And similarly, we have different bars. We can create 3, 4, 5, any number of bar charts you want. So here, let me take 4 bar charts, just reposition them on a proper interval, and it will be fine. Just move to the first bar chart, select and press P to change the position and zoom it a bit. Let's make it half a second. We want our first bar to appear. Select all the bars and you can press the this opening bracket to start their timing. Place them accordingly. Over an interval of 1 second, I'm placing them apart. So the first chart will appear at half a second, second will appear at after 1 second, third will after 1 second of second, and so on. So here we have the position. So now we want to change the anchor point and move it to the lower center of this shape. Similarly, do this for all the charts. Obviously move the timer. So in that case, it will be visible to you. So now let's put the anchor point on the remaining shapes to the lower center. Because we want our animation to start from the x-axis. We want our bar charts to grow from the 0th value of the y on the x-axis. You can keyframe the position, but it won't work. We want to keyframe the size. So just press S by selecting any of the shape, or you can just move to the details and here you have the scale. You have to uncheck this chain option because we don't want to change the value of X and Y. We just want to change the value of Y because we want to freeze the X axis here. So just make it 0 in the starting and at the end make it 100% for the first chart. So it looks like it is growing. Let's apply the similar effect on the second bar. Move the scale tool, uncheck the chain option. If the chain option is enabled, the value of X and Y will be relatively changed. We don't want to change both, so we are disabling this. So here, let us make it 200% because we want our second bar chart to appear bigger than first one. So let's replay it. So okay, this will be the animation. It looks cool. Then let's animate the third bar. Do the same thing. Select a scale, uncheck the chain, put the first keyframe, make it 0, and the second keyframe over an interval of 1 second and make it 350 because we want our third bar chart to appear bigger than the first and second one. Similarly, for the fourth one, do the same thing. Go to scale and change the value, initial value to 0 and final value, the keyframe to say 600. Don't worry, it will happen if the chain option will be selected. You have to deselect the chain option and apply the effect once again. So uncheck it and put the keyframe initially, make it 0, the y-axis, and put the second keyframe and make it 600. So in this case, it will grow bigger than the previous three ones. So this is our animation. It looks cool. Try to build this on your own. We are going to learn more in the coming videos. Till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back, friend. Here in this practical exercise, you're learning how you can create the line chart visualization with After Effects. So let's start. So just create a new solid for the background. Let me choose a lighter shade of green or blue green. You can take any color of your choice. Uh, I will be creating this monochromatic line chart. So I will be using green color, this same shade for all the objectives. Next, draw an axis using the pen tool. On the top side, you got pen tool and just create a linear axis over the x and y axis. Make the fill transparent because we don't want any fill, and change the color of a stroke and widen it because we want a thick stroke that is clearly visible, but it should not be very much thick. Take any darker shade of the same color. You got this color. Now it's time to add the main line chart. So our line chart will be growing from the 0 side of the x-axis. We will be drawing using the same pen tool. Take any other color shade. The choice of color is completely yours. You can also add some background image like masking we have done. Just draw it in the way you want your graph to appear. I don't use any calculated parameters here. You can add a line, a grid, or any value. That would be easy, just adding a text. That's not a problem. So just change the color to make it clearly visible. Choose any color, and here we have drawn the points. It has an ups and downs, and at those points we will be adding a circular points. So here we have. So we want this graph to grow from the left side. So just select this graph, change the color. We will be adding a trim path. Trim path allows you to create an effect where your animation grows from the initial point to the final point. We have applied the trim path to the circular ring, and here we will be applying the same thing to the line chart. Just rename it to line path and just expand it and add trim path. In the trim path, go to the end option. Just use the proper timing. Keyframe this. Initially make it 0, then keyframe, say half a second, and over an interval of say 2 seconds, put another keyframe and make it 100%. So let's replay it. So it looks like a graph is growing. So this is an animation. It could be used for any business presentation or anywhere you like. So just add some points and add the meaning. You have to zoom in very much because we want to place the points at the time the graph is growing because we don't want them to appear beforehand. So make the stroke transparent, and here we are interested in fill. So select a fill of the same color shade, or you can choose any different color. Just select it and use the selection tool to move this point anywhere on the screen. So just place it on the proper location, make it a bit darker. So here it is. This is our point. It should not be very much big or very small. You have to select the proper timing, and after you have done resizing with it, you can just copy this thing and place it on other points. So we have to just put it at the proper timing and just press the open bracket from the keyboard. So at this point, it will start. Otherwise, you can also use the mouse to move it. So here, this point will appear just after the line has reached that point. Then copy it and paste a replica and do the same thing. Open bracket, because we want our second point to start at that keyframe when the line has reached at that point. You have to place all the points in the similar manner because our line is growing from the left side of the axis to the right side. All points must appear on a proper timing. This is the critical thing. If your line animation is too fast, it would be difficult. If your line animation is slow, you can arrange it. If you're finding it difficult, you can just do the one thing. You can apply trim path over the line for a long interval and then apply the points. This way you will be easily applying all the points, and after you have done with this, pre-compose it and increase the speed of entire composition accordingly. There are various more methods to do this. Don't be confused. Just practice. With experience, you will learn everything. So now just add more points to the curve. And when you have done with this, you can replay it to check your animation is working fine or not. So let's place more points in the right direction. Just Control C and Control V and the opening bracket, a square bracket from the keyboard. You can use a lot of shortcuts with the workflow, but don't try to remember all the shortcuts at the starting point. You would be confused. So let's replay it. So our line chart is looking very cool. The points will appear at the time the line has reached a particular coordinate. You can add mathematical values to the coordinates, but it's your choice. Because when you want to convey an idea, the accuracy is not critical on all the projects. It depends from project to project. If you're building on scientific project, accuracy could be the key thing. So in that case, you can be accurate. You have to do more work with Illustrator and no problem. You can add a background. Here I have added a square background of the lighter shade. Just place it to the lower side because it follows the similar pattern After Effects follows. The layer that is placed on the top side will be visible from the top. So it looks cool. You can add your own selection. You can place images, mask, and more things. We are going to learn more in the coming exercises. Till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back, friend. In the previous exercise, you learned how to create line chart animation, and here we are going to add some cool background. So just import the line chart After Effects file and an image file. Here I've created just a awkward earth-like content from Illustrator, and we will be making it earth. Just cross-check the effect and preset option is there or not. And then search sphere. We will be applying CC sphere effect to this earth. So CC sphere will make it look round, and you got a lot of cool options to control. Don't be afraid. Just check it one by one. When we have the half a second timer and just expand everything, say radius, light, and everything. Just change the light because our light will be changing in the direction of sun. You can say Earth is not revolving here. The sun is rotating, you can say. And then you have the light intensity. You want to make it a bit dark or light. So the distance of Earth from sun. Similarly, you can rotate our very own Earth using the Y rotation. So just remember this thing. And you can add more things. You can check each and every effect there. You can change the color of light, but white light is good for us. Or you can change the light height, at which height the light is getting. The direction of light, because you want your sunrise to appear from top left or bottom or anywhere. You can select everything. You got a lot of flexibility and control here. So we will be animating, we will rotating our earth, we will be rotating our sun, the passage of time, and we will be putting our line chart just above this earth to depict the global rise of temperature. This will be a children's global warming explanation. So just keyframe this Y rotation, and after some time just add some rotation and just play it. So here our sun is rotating and the earth is rotating. So the passage of day. You can sync them, add them together, but for the purpose of animation, I have added them over a interval. So just go to the line chart animation, import this After Effects file, and uncheck all these background layers. Just the line chart we want, and place it over the earth. So this is how our animation would look like. But we want our animation to start after some time. You can place them at a desired place using the open square bracket. When this morning has been seen on earth, and then your graph will represent. Just give a proper time for your users to visualize the content. So here the sunrise has been done, taken place, and then our earth is rotating, and the global temperature rise can be seen from 1970 to 2020 over an interval of 10 years. Similarly, you can add more content. So when you have done with this animation, you can just export it using the media encoder. When you export using media encoder, you got a lot of control. You can choose the format, the encoding channel, and everything. So I want a MP4 format to be there. So I will be using H264 and rename the file and just press the play button, and you got your exporting option to start. When you try to export using the render queue of the After Effects, it will convert to the default AVI format. And when you want MP4 or other formats, you can just play this thing. When you have a good GPU on your computer, it will do the export operation very quickly. Otherwise, it will take a little time. Hi, welcome back, friend. Here in this practical exercise, you will be learning about creating infographics, shape fill, animation in After Effects. So here we'll be using a tree vector. I've created this tree vector and just replicate it. We want our effect to have the shape fill animation. Uh, Add the two layers, go to transformations, and to the second animation, second tree, make the opacity to 50% because this will be the background and we want our background to be 50%. So next, just put a rectangle shape just above the trees and just do the track matte. Here we have the alpha matte. You can select from the below. Just add to the top layer of the tree that is 100% opaque to the alpha matte. So and drop it down using the position tool. So this way, or when we add a position to our shape, it will reflect the darker shade of the tree to appear like it is growing. So it is growing to 100% from 0 to 100%. When you want to show any varied percentage, you can also display that. Just make it pre-composition using the right click pre-compose because it will be easy. When we need a lot of tree, So it is better to pre-compose and reuse the composition again and again. So now just resize and place it at the proper location. Here in this exercise, I want 5 trees to be there. So we will be making it small. Add a solid to the background and now put your pre-composition on top of your background and just copy this pre-composition because we want total 5 tree and 3 compositions would be there. Other two will be the simple Illustrator file. So here the effect will be reflected on all these 3 trees. So let's import the Illustrator file, the main tree vector, and make it to the similar size as pre-compositions. We can adjust the size using the bounding box and place them on the proper distance. Then just copy the same Illustrator file again, and we need to change the opacity of these 2 trees to 50% because it will show the total number of trees. Say we have 5 trees representing 100% of trees, so each tree has 20% of weightage. So when we want to show our visualization of say 60%, so 3 trees must be dark converted to darker using the shape fill effect that we used, and 2 trees must remain highlighted. So just add text to the meaning. You can add a simple text. A small tip here, just don't use the same sentence. Just put multiple text here. You can select the color from the character panel and place your text on the proper location of the screen. Then add more text with different shades. Here we use the complementary theme, the green and red. If you are from a design background, you better understand the color theory. So here we got this 60% trees are replanted after deforestation. This will be the text here. This presentation could be related to global warming and climate change. You could use your own ideas. With trees, you can replace it with human characters, you can replace with computers, technology devices, and anything you want to present. Data does not only require to be presented using graphs only. You can add text, you can add different shapes and objects here. Here we add more text. As you can see, we use 3 text layers with different shade. So in this case, we will rearrange them on proper timing. You can add a lot of transformations. We'll be doing some basic transformations only. So don't worry. Just move using the selection tool on the proper place. Here, just add one more text after deforestation. Only 60% trees are replanted after deforestation. You can make your text capital letter small or first letter large or any formatting you use. You can change the text format, font, you can increase the size, decrease the size, you can add a spacing and much more things you can do. Just make it a bit darker, black, or you can choose a darker shade of red. It's on you. So here, just place the text at the proper distance. After the tree animation, the shape fill has been completed, we want our text to appear in sequence. So only 60% would appear first, then the tree planted, and after deforestation, the last sentence. So it will be readable to our audience. Let's play it. So here 3 trees are filled, only 60% trees are replanted. So this is very fast. You can slow it down at your proper desired timing. Or you can add more transformations like position, rotation, opacity, or any built-in preset. It's on you. So you can present your idea very easily. Use shape infographics to add more meaning to your data. Keep learning, keep moving ahead. Hello, welcome back friend. Here in this practical exercise, we will learning shape fill infographics on humans. In the previous exercise, we have learned the shape fill infographics, and this will be a recap for you. And we will be performing more operations, so stay tuned. So here we have a human vector similar as tree, and just pre-compose this vector. And in the pre-compositions, when you go just copy the same vector again, we will be making the second vector uh, more transparent, say 50% opaque, and the first vector we will be adding an alpha matte mask. Just place a square shape on this first human vector, go to track matte option, add alpha matte to the shape. And now we will be adding some keyframes and basic transformation. Just zoom in the timeline, go to half a second say, and just go to the shape, transformation, expand it further, keyframe the position initially and put it downwards. So we want our shape fill of the human counter to appear like it is appearing from below to the top. And then put another keyframe over an interval, say 1 second, and completely cover the human. And here when we play it, it will appear that this shape fill is appearing. The human is growing and it is being counted. So it is counting 100% human when we fill it completely. But when we fill it partially, it will be counted as half fill or 50%. Just make it a small in size, put it at the appropriate place. This is the pre-compositions, so all effects would be saved here. So then just copy this pre-composition and place it on the screen. Here we want 5 human vectors to appear on the screen. We want to show 50%. So 2 will be completely filled, 1 half filled, and 2 will be remain empty or transparent. But here when we copy it, the third human is also completely shown. So we just need to create a new vector here, put the human vector, rescale it, and pre-compose it. So we pre-compose this human again, apply the same transformation, but this time fill it partially. So here we have the second human, make it 50% opaque and put a square or rectangle shape here. This will be mask. We don't want a mask, we want a track matte. So track matte, we need to select outside. And here we put a rectangle shape just above the human. Go to track matte, choose alpha matte, the second layer. And here we want to just move the position. So go to half a second and this time fill it partially below the shoulders. So initially it must be uh, put below the foot, and after a second it must be moved to just above the stomach or chest, around the chest. So here it is. So here it will be partially filled. Just rescale it to match the size of other human vectors and put it downwards. So this way you can represent a counter. So when you want to represent a data where a count percentage of humans is shown, you can use the shape fill of humans. This is very attractive. When you want to represent trees, you can use the tree vectors. When you want to represent other informations like number of devices, mobile phones, or other thing, you can use this similar shape fill. Don't need to be very artistic, just a simple shape will work. Here we have imported different Illustrator files to represent a transparent human. So here we will change the opacity of this human to 50% and just copy the same Illustrator file over and over again for 2 times because we want 5 humans here. So just copy it and change the opacity to the remaining vectors to 50%. So just expand it go to transformation and move to opacity. Here is a shortcut for opacity. You can also press T after selecting a field and you got the opacity. Make it 50% opaque. When you use these things again and again, you will be better sound with the shortcuts and the things. Just put a text here. We want to add some text because when you add text, it will add meaning to your visualization. So here just resize it, rescale and change the color of the text you want. Use the selection tool to move out of the text and then again use the text tool to create a new text layer. More than 50% humans live in Asia. We want to convey this idea. So the shape fill will represent the data. The text will add more meaning to the data. And when you add the voice, it will be very clear for people to understand. After watching this exercise, try to build your own After Effects composition representing the infographic data. Try to implement the shape fill, the text animations, and other chart animations that you learned in this class. So when you give it a try, you can learn more with your experience. These are the few building blocks that you learned in this class and try to apply these things in real life. The best way of learning is by doing. So when you create these compositions, different effects and animations, you would learn After Effects and visualization very clearly. So try building your own solutions. And if you have any doubt, feel free to ask. I would be more than happy to support you. Here we change the color of these text. I've used this complementary color scheme of orange and blue. You can choose any of the color scheme you want. You can change the background. You can also add some images to the background, or you can add track mattes in the same manner like having an image to the human vectors. You can add faces or any other images. You can add graphs and more things. We can reposition this text based on the time, but you can also apply various transformations. When you are done, just export this file. Keep learning, keep moving ahead.